Hello and namaste. My name is Puran and I work as a junior cybersecurity consultant for a multinational company. In this presentation, I will analyze a real world scenario involving a serious cybersecurity and ethical dilemma. An employee leaked sensitive customer data to a third party, claiming they did it to expose company malpractice. The company, however, says this violated data protection law and internal confidentiality agreements. This case brings up important questions about the line between the whistleblowing and illegal activity and how cybersecurity professionals should act when ethics and law conflict. In real world incident summary, let's begin with a summary of the situation. A company employee leaked a confidential customer data to an external third party. The employee claimed it was a moral action meant to expose unethical company practice. However, the company argues it was a clear violation of GDPR and internal data handling rules. So, in this case, the central question becomes was this an act of whistleblowing or simply a data breach that broke the law? Now, let's move into the legal framework involved in it. The main law that applied to this case is GDPR, the UK Data Protection Act 2018, and the Computer Misuse Act 1990. First, the GDPR. The General Data Protection Regulation says that all the data must be collected and processed lawfully, fairly, and transparently. It must be kept secure and only used for its intent purpose. Unauthorized data disclosure is a serious offense under this case. Second is the UK Data Protection Act 2018, which enforces GDPR in the UK. It reinforces people's right to data privacy and put responsibility on the companies to protect that data. Third, the Companies Misuse Act 1990 criminalizes unauthorized access to computer system. Section 1 and 2 make it illegal to access or leak data without permission. Finally, the Public Interest Disclosure Act or PIDA protect whistleblower, but only if they report wrongdoing responsibly through an internal channel or to regulators. In this case, the employee escaped this is now applying the law to this case. In this situation, the employee leaked private data to an external party without using the correct internal reporting channel. So, even though the intent might have been ethical, the method clearly violates GDPR, UK Data Protection Act, Computer Misuse Act. Also, because the disclosure wasn't made responsibly or legally, the employee does not qualify for whistleblower protection under PIDA. So, legally, this was a clear violation. Now, let's jump into ethical analysis, utilitarianism. Now, let's analyze this ethically. From an utilitarian perspective, which focuses on the outcomes of an action, the question becomes, did the employees lead to more good than harm? If the leak exposed more corruption or protect the public from harm, it might be considered morally justified. But if it caused more harm, such as violating customer privacy, damaging the company, or breaking trust, then it will be unethical. Now, from a deontological perspective, from a deontological views which focus on duties and rules, the employee clearly act unethically. They had a duty to maintain confidentiality, follow legal and internal process, and protect customer data. But breaking those rules, even with a good intent, is considered morally wrong in deontological ethics. So, from these views, the employee's actions were not ethical. Another is professional and corporate responsibility. As a cybersecurity professional, we are expected to follow strict ethical standards such as those outlined in the ACM Code of Ethics and the ISC Square Code of Professional Ethics. This code guides us to act responsibly, to protect user privacy and to use proper and legal channel when reporting any kind of misconduct. But responsibility doesn't end with individuals. Companies also play a major role. They should establish clear and accessible whistleblowing procedures, ensure that ethical employees are protected, and foster a culture of transparency and accountability through the organization. When a workplace supports ethical behavior and open communications between the employee are far more likely to report issue legally and responsibility rather than resorting to risky or unlawful action. My recommendation legal and ethical verdict. Now that we have looked at both legal and ethical dimension of the case, here's my balanced verdict. Legally, the employee clearly broke the law, GDPR, DPA, and Computer Message Act. They didn't follow whistleblowing procedures and exposed sensitive data. Ethically, the situation is complex. If the company was truly acting unethically, then the employee's motive may have been moral, but the method was string wrong. So, overall, this action was not legal and only partially ethical. It highlights the need for better system to protect both data and ethical behavior. So, overall, I will say that the action was illegal and partially ethical. This case reminds us why it's so important to have strong internal policies that make it easier to report wrongdoing the right thing. Prevention, what should companies do? Now that we have discussed the legal and ethical outcomes, let's talk about how company can prevent situations like this in the future. The case wasn't just about one employee mistake. It revealed weakness in the company's internal system. So, what can organizations do to protect sensitive data and encourage ethical behavior? Here are the some key points about it. To avoid such incident, companies should focus on prevention, stronger data protection, use encryption, secure access, and regular audits. Clear whistleblower policies make it easy and safe to report wrongdoing internally. Training. Teach employees about the cybersecurity law, data ethics, and how to report safely. Ethical leadership. Manager should lead by example, fostering a culture of trust and openness. When employees feel safe, they are less likely to act unethically or illegally. Lastly, with the right system in the place, companies can protect both their data and their people. In conclusion, this case shows that cybersecurity issues go to beyond just technology. They involve law, ethics, corporate responsibility, and human behavior. Whistleblowing can be moral, but only when done through the proper legal channels. Both companies and professionals must understanding their duties not just to data but to the people behind it. And to end with this presentation, I want to share what you can learn from this case is that this is not just about hacking our data, it's about doing the right things and protecting trust. The employee thought they were helping by imposing something wrong inside the company, but they broke the law by sharing private customer data in the wrong way, even if their goal was good. Their actions were still against the rule and caused problem. At the same time, the company also made a mistake. If they had better way for employee for report problems, the situation could have been avoided. So what's the lesson is so what you get lesson from it is in cybersecurity we must protect people's data, follow the rule and make people can report problems safely. Cybersecurity is not just a job, it's a shared responsibility from worker to manager We must work together to build a safe, fair, and honest system. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope this presentation helped you understanding the complexity of data leak, whistleblowing, and the responsibility we all share in protection of sensitive information. If you have any question or thought, I would be happy to discuss them further. Once again, thank you everyone.